Oh man, I wonder what we'll be fighting. Oh. Hey, welcome back to more Limbus Company. I'm SlayerMathis, and last time we plowed our way through a decent chunk of Canto 4. And this time we'll be making it to the dungeon. We will not be making it through the dungeon. But, start off with screening room. Oh, neat. I forgot about this part of... Yeah, there's a couple fights in here that do allow... Actually, this is the first time that we have 7 participants allowed. Oh, go... Yeah. Yeah. How do I want to do this? Definitely use song. Have you? Yeah, we will go like that, I think. Have that sort of set up. It's too dark to see. What is that? It's been stopped for a moment. It's the commotion, right? Yeah, intruders might come up, so Director Fuzz was ordered to hold the operation for a moment. No, that just won't do. Loss caused that brief moment would be a tremendous sound, Joe. Scratch that. What is that thing? Ah, you see, this thing cries in our stead. So I always look at it with gratitude and pity. I see now. That's what Rand told me about. The voice of a person we've been desperately looking for was heard. The source was right in front of us. Some kind of translucent veil seemed to drop as she rose. And Dongbak was looking at us. I've been wondering how, and I don't know the answer. How security was so easily breached, how we kept losing track of you, and how you kept vanishing. You had the veil. It was so simple, why couldn't I think of it sooner? Veil? It's not supposed to be... you better stop talking about things only you know again, huh? Maybe I was living in the city, alright, but you certainly aren't cut out to be a fixer. Most people struggle to figure out or understand the source of each technology in their lives. They give up the endeavor and simply nod along. Pretending to know. There's a essential skill for making your life in the city bearable. It's an expensive singularity based item only for famous fixers. Wings executives are the richest class they could afford. If I ask how you got it, you won't answer me, will you? It is when I'm seeking the truth behind regeneration ampules. Yes, that's right. That's what's the ampules you help out in destroying. What do you destroy? What do you destroy? Let me ask you a question. Don't you know how many lives the ampules can save? I'm kind of like mixing his voice with people. These regeneration ampules simply don't regenerate the body. These tears can kill as easily as they save. Trying to suggest these tears kill people. I've nothing more to say to you if you won't believe me, even after seeing it happen several times already. Fine then. I can see it if I prove they're safe by walking to this pool. Don't slander Mr. Dongrang with your baseless claims. Countless people have recovered from life-threatening conditions thanks to this technology. I've been injected with it once myself. My neck broke while died, but the regeneration ampoule helped me recover from the brink of death. It's one of the reasons I applied for K-Corp as soon as I became an adult, but that's not the point here. What are you doing, Mr. Samcho? My childhood dream was to be a competitive swimmer in the nest. I can dive from this out, no problem. That was being a baseball star. You're overdoing it again, Samjo. You don't have to go through the trouble. It's okay to just stay here. It's no trouble at all. You worked on the ampule yourself. Mr. Dongran, Director Alfonso, and countless other researchers worked for years to prevent K-Corp's regeneration ampules. I could only be here because I trust the technology. I'm proud of it. I'll be back in a minute. But Samjo? Samjo took off his glasses and jumped to the vat containing the tears. Small bubbles rose from where he dove, but a few seconds later, no sound could be heard from the vat. Oh dear, what a bother. Samjo never knew about the unrefined tears. We won't be able to salvage your body. Still, it's fortunate he remained proud of us until the end. What did you just say? Mr. Samjo was a case of success from a humble upbringing. Not like that sort of person. Fellows who are hired by Wings, even though their qualifications are far below the Wings requirements, tend to be loyal to their employers. Wasn't he nest one? Right, you do know that being from the nest doesn't get you a free pass to the Wings, right? What's happening? Why isn't Mr. Samjo coming back? It's the unprocessed liquid dew, don't worry. The tear's function is to revert things to how they were originally. The regeneration ampules available now are a product of numerous refining processes. When a person who has lost an arm takes the ampule, they will remember having the arm as its original state. Someone with a dent of their head takes the ampule, their head will be restored into the shape to be how it originally was. All those people in the bottom branch who died like bugs. They were all under a trance, so to speak. Repeatedly playing the voices that says you are a bug in a sealed, otherwise silent room. The image of bugs will be instilled in their subconscious. Indeed, it becomes more effective with the step of refining and diluting it with ideas of human concepts, but when drop the tear that lacks any kind of interpretation touches someone, they'd be reverted all the way back to the original form of humanity. The original form? Should I say it helps you go back to that state? Although it tries, it doesn't be capable of making a person fully reach that state. It consequently removes pain, but, well... So are you satisfied, Dongbak? You're right. And Samjo probably turned into the original form of humanity, or something like that in the Vat of Tears. Congratulations. Now what do you really want? The singularity. Permanently destroying it and everything related by using the concept incinerator. Concept incinerator, huh? You use it again? So Zongbek, let's say that you do successfully return to an age of nothingness. What comes next? Chop trees, build huts, and make clothes out of leather? Is that the kind of life you want? Mourn the lost lives of trees and animals you've killed? Look, Zongbek, if they act you like that, you'll be nothing more than a primitive amateur. Are you really sure that's what you want? You always ask stupid questions, then and now. Besides, use vile technology as tools to get rid of their vile creators. Thus, no one can remain in the future we envision. That's why we'll be free from the obsession with survival. What are you talking about? So you want envisioning a future, you just can't let go of the past. Both of you, stop this. I don't want old feuds repeating before my eyes. Isang, you look fine. They like you're relieved. Didn't you want him? You're right. I wanted him to die. I'm sure he wished for the same. He wouldn't resist while it dug into its heart. It was unpleasant. I felt like I was granting your wish. Because we both got a few screws loose. I think pushing someone off a cliff would be justified because that person was hesitating. I don't hear from the person himself then. I have no words to say. This conversation is over then. I'm frankly glad it is. I took this opportunity to kill 2 of my old companions with my own hands. Now seize and burn the singularity. We first come across Sunshower Dongbek. Lots of goddamn shield. 1200 shield health at the end of each turn she loses SP, and I believe she's all negative coins? No, actually. Just a few. Clash when she heals SP. This is a lot of make sure you win the clash. More so than normal. We do have a lot of extra slots available, so that's nice at least, but still. We did kind of unluck in terms of targeting and speed, but I think we'll want to grab that there, and then everyone else can just go on in. This will be actually an interesting situation that we could... There we go. That we could end up doing some solid enough retreat tactics with. Because I don't know how much damage we'll be able to do before the courier trunks start to die. Ooh. Ooh. God, that is a strong skill. I mean, once Polonista starts to take over, then we can at least retreat those 2, and I believe that will give them extra slots to, if I understand how it works, should give 1 slot to, we're gonna have an unopposed attack, I think. Nope, never mind. Should give 1 slot to Heathcliff and 1 to Yisong. Which, I mean, that's fine. I guess that's better. Not particularly impressed with what any of them are really doing, but... Really? Come on, Heath. Heath, so Sunshower, has a Season 2 identity that is tied to Heathcliff, and it is considered, at the very least, one of the weirdest IDs. God damn. Because it's, obviously, it's a negative coin ID that is focused on gaining, sinking on itself, kind of like we're seeing with a few of these, but... Yeah, this is feeling weird. I'm not liking the early optics of this. I will be the first to admit. Do have 1 going after Heathcliff, so I think we'll want to run that. Yeah, that should be fine. Yeah. Come on, skincare. Now, if we're dealing some solid damage to the shield, but it's slow. It'd be nice if we could just like start to get our own sanity up. That'd be cool. We could play into some negative sanity with things like Lament, Mourn, Despair. We could. Grabs the old umbrellas, and she will gain thorns. Yeah. Is it? Yeah, okay. So actually, it's a good thing that we don't have. That's actually going to be a little bit annoying for us, that we're essentially losing a turn on this. Yeah, let's check out the umbrellas. Boost up Dongbaek sinking and give ourselves a lot of attack power. She goes in for sink it all. 26, Jesus. It'll be 5% chance to hit heads. I don't really think we have anything that can particularly counter that. Branch of Knowledge, but that's a 50-50. Force for the Flames is unironically probably my best bet. Clash it with an Ego. Which is gonna suck for me, but ah well. We're getting close to the point where we're gonna want to start retreating. Retreating folks out. Everyone else dominating. Just the one favored. Probably retreat out Sinclair next turn, maybe? Okay. Oh, jeez, I didn't realize I had +8 attack power. Alright. Get some nice crittage on there. Okay, we're not going to do that next turn, because she is staggered. Probably turn after this one, we'll have one of our Deviats retreat. Let's just pop it in. Pop in the damage. Sunshower can be a little bit of a tricky fight, but it's not the worst thing in the world. The roll's a bit high. But again, pretty much just counter. Once you get her staggered, she's mostly fine. Having an Ego ready for that one skill. I remember this being a lot more difficult, but ah well. It is what it is. It is what it is indeed. There we go. Bud. Now, this is where things are going to get interesting. Because I have a plan. Is it a bad plan? Absolutely. But we're going to run this one as a solo with Spicebush. We're going to see how it goes. It'll take me a while, but I just think it's a lot more fun that way. Well, first of all, as a big thing, we'll be up-tie 3ing K-Corp Honglu. It gives the support high-grade Ampule. So at the start of combat, it gives 2 K-Corp Ampules to an ally with the lowest HP percentage. This will heal 10% of our max HP each turn, but we have to make sure that we only use it once or we will fucking explode. K-Corp Honglu itself is just super tanky. It gives itself K-Corp Ampules as well as Fragile on it, but still, super good. A child spends his days and nights in that glass tube. It was to keep him in the most stable state, as K-Corp determined. In a coffin of glass, the child's body sleeps all the time. Doors woken up from the outside, that is. Ah, hard at work as usual, I see. Once came in for left for lunch, I presume. Have you had your meal? What did you eat today? Ah, not interested in food talk then.
Don't you ever get tired of yapping like that?
Ah, you're looking in the eye at last. Perhaps the researcher was taking a moment to regret pressing the button to wake up the child up. Among employees called the excision staff from K-Corp, those belonging to Class 3 spend all their time outside of the deployment permissions in those Class 2s. Since Class 3 staff inject themselves with heavy doses of the ampule more often than most other employees, they're forced to live in those tubes to raise the compatibility. The ampule could decay them if figures is ever so slightly off.
I'm just amazed you can blather around and see what you get up. It's not just ordinary sleep, you're put in suspended animation.
Well, that's something I get used to. As I mentioned, their sleep is different from what we normally think. Their consciousness is put into a state of total suspension. Even the subconscious thoughts that changed in the dreams have the risk of causing decay. The child doesn't seem to be affected by its after effects. He looks refreshed at it, rather. I can go outside when I want to, as you know. How else can I relieve this boredom?
Seriously, you have no idea how you ended up here. Landed any other department if it weren't for your ampule compatibility?
I wouldn't say so. It's my grandmother who sent me here.
Your grandmother?
That's right. You want to see more of the city and learn how the world goes.
So basically you're here by nepotism, right? And your grandmother is someone with power.
Is excision really kind of job to favor, though? Instead of laughter, their child replied by making bubbles. When the researcher looked up at her to see what was going on, they only found the child smiling with his eyes closed.
You frightened me for a second.
I just thought it was funny. I don't know what my grandmother's thinking. Frankly, I don't care. But I do think it's not bad to try this kind of work. An alarm buzzed around the rest of the researcher who was looking at the child with mixed feelings.
You're something clear, boy. You're for deployment.
I knew it. The child. It took a little time to arrive at the location where the order was made. Alright, commence the excision now. Swinging his weapon around, the child rushed at his enemies. Someone who was at work, he looked exceedingly delighted. It was like he was excited to have new experiences. I will say, already this update story brought up some intrigue for Honglu's Kanto. Afterwards, it is also incredibly interesting exactly what's going on. But yes, we're gonna try out Spicebush solo. Solos are interesting, and I can at least do a bit of an intro to them here. Hypothesis, an optimistic sign. Even with repeated training to cleave off deterrents, abusive egos still push their user's body to the limit. Routine the golden pound out Dongback. I'm supposed to hand it off to my guests here. Signed with some complicit contracts and several complicated contracts with several stamps, so I can't go back one word to you. Proudly boasting your ignorance still. And you're weak, still. Even with the ego from the bottom of the court, that was below my expectations, Dongback. Besides, I haven't introduced you to the technology I developed. I know, why don't we hold our first conference in a while? The daily audio-visual feed has been sent. So tell me, Dongback, how much bigger can your despair grow? Help me! What's up with the sound? The footage was drones filmed while we were fighting abnormality on the street. I read this represent Dongback. Did you release an abnormality in the streets if I don't speak about the singularity? I know you're always fond of radical events, but I didn't think we'd actually do it. Of course, produce a lot more tears. All thanks to you. No. I wasn't planning to release it. It escaped. You ignored my warning. When I responded there, that'd be admitting that our lab had been experimenting on abnormalities arbitrarily. Thank goodness our contractors happened to be near the nest when it happened. So part of your plan to have us run into the breach abnormality? Yeah, it was closer to an experiment than a plan. Possibility of failure was kept in mind, but I had evidence to trust you'd make it through. I've been keeping an eye on you for longer than you might think. I told you, didn't I? I'm a fan of yours. No, Sinclair, it's always been the other way around. I am the one who grips. How is this? I don't think I want to watch. We ran on record tears that time as well. Played significant parts of carrying the award, I might add. The employees of certain departments in Ancorp weren't the best people to talk with, but I was able to hear fresh audiovisual feed thanks to them. It means the reason Ancorp began waves cruises in a residential area in SK was what the deal entailed. I think I remember a certain fellow saying this. Whether young G's glass window was an infinitive, it was something too fast to freely wield, especially for a coarse man like me. Ah, Dongback, was it you? What is... are you... There was never enough tears. I mean, look around and see how many people are suffering here. So they'll be doing the crying for us. No time to shut their eyes. I only made minor modification to Brother Young G's work. I want to show a reflection of any possibility in its unvarnished image. So I'm considering the name for it. Here. I wish that this would serve as a tool of entertainment. Giving us more joy. Ah, is this why I haven't been able to see you lately? Discover this? Dongrang, why are you laughing like that? It's just funny you're talking so ferociously when your eyes are full of curious twinkles. You tell him to shut it. Why don't you hide your astonishment if a child tried ice cream for the first time on your face first? Miles unable to hold laughter. Exclamations of amazement. smiles at each other, eyes glowing brighter than stars. Everyone there felt pure joy. I only wish that all of this would remain a simple creation. Be quiet. You simply live on as you are, as if you know nothing. I don't know who actually says that. The glass window. Was it made for this kind of wicked degeneracy? We have an important moment. Please mind your language. And know what you're saying. Brother Youngji would have scolded for me for this. But did you know, though, we're no longer in the time when we used to cheer for toy-like inventions. The applause won't be as loud with how few of us that remain now. You're just struggling to let it go. Isn't that right? You give your grand speeches about the evil technology, but that's no other pretext you made up on the way as a means to garner support. Reach your true goal. Came to fight the vile technology, but you yourself are being plenty vile. Well, you keep checking with the Laboratory Branch facility where I just happened to be conducting my research. You probably told your followers to investigate the singularity. But in reality, you figured you'd probably find a piece of technology you could use as weapons, didn't you? Like ego. I wonder who gave you all that precious information. Shren couldn't have possibly known that. How about a game of 20 questions? Will you tell me that way? Don't talk like you know everything. That attitude of yours has always annoyed me. Then let me act like I know just about one more thing. When we peeked through Brother Youngji's glass window and we got a glimpse of worlds reflected in Yisong's mirror, we felt the euphoria and schism we would never be able to recover from. Since the moment the glass window was made, all sorts of interest groups came knocking on the door. Right. Well, we may think that we left the League of our own volition. We all know what actually happened. We were just torn apart and scattered away. And the reason for it came from the inside. Tongue back. If you put my work into Concept Incinerator, we won't be able to go back to those innocent times. You know that, right? Even though you are aware, you still can't give up your obsession. Now I get it. Someone who discovered the incinerator technologies again. Other nameless fellows with other dreams would feel the same euphoria we once felt. That's what you wanted to happen. Since we can't return to the past ourselves, you were going to recreate the past for coming generations. What a cute and unique idea, Dongbaek. Miss Dongbaek, your body. Dongbaek muttered in emptiness. It was as though she was talking to someone. Yes, I'll bury it deep in the sand. Hide them. For some to find someday. We didn't discover the technologies because we were better, had exclusive rights to. You may be right. I fooled everyone, including myself, into working for my own goals. It was the land we tilled that was fertile. It's disheartening to hear. We discredited all of our efforts that went into plowing the soil, missing on the sights of flowers. Back then, we were naive amateurs, and the past you've refused to forget is just a fleeting moment seen through rose-tinted glasses. Did your colleagues give their lives to the cause? Know this, though. This is the cause that you exclaimed was only a spacious banner to lure people with. It was as vain as a cloud on the sky. No. Yet I'm finally seeing myself better now. Wash plants sprouted and cover it with dirt with my own hands, isn't that right? The bud has fallen, and our fruit has long since withered. Must be covered with dirt again, let other fruits be born. Is it really okay to let her be? No, your mind doesn't work right when using ego. Now, hold on, do this on purpose! Don't as much as you can. Wait for her to tire herself out. Back to the innocent times, now without us. Innocence. No wonder, no words are as embarrassing as that. Oh, keep it together! No, you shake your mind like I do, then and now, isn't that right? I feel like my mind is blooming wider than ever. I've always wished to be a bud, soon to burst into bloom, shrouded in scent all over the body. Even this is my own heart-wrenching path, understood by no one. I'll still leave behind tomorrow, strong and fertile like fallen petals. And so you see why I wanted to do this as a solo. Brilliant Fatal! Now, I will say this is a little bit of a luck-based solo, I will specify. Main status that she inflicts is blooming. So the big thing is fully bloomed is a forced stagger. I believe until end of turn. Luckily, Spicebush has a evade, and yeah, definitely solos are a lot easier in Mirror Dungeon when you can, or just any dungeons in general, because you can have the sanity built up. That is the main thing, sanity. It's gonna take a while to do, but evades are definitely the best for if you're wanting to do anything solo, because evades are unique amongst guards in that they carry over. So as long as we defend on the leftmost thing on here, we will be fine. Yeah, as long as we defend on the leftmost, we'll be good. is gonna take a while. We need to, I think we need to hit heads every single, not every single time. We can afford to hit a few tails later on, but it'll take a bit. So I will, yeah, I'll cut to turn, when I finally get a turn 2 that I've managed to dodge through. I got a perfect RNG turn. I have to manage to dodge every single one. Now the fun part of how the fuck am I going to beat these over? The turn 1 of a solo is always the most difficult because you only have the one skill slot. Okay. Shit. Oh. That didn't last long. Okay, pretty solid turn. Got hit by one attack, but that was it. However, and how we get to the fun part of what the fuck am I gonna do? We can theoretically still dodge that one if she flips tails on her first coin. So let's hope for the best. We got her to -7. Oh fuck. Are we fully bloomed? I hope not. Damn it, okay. I'll get into that more when I actually have a run that I can do anything with. Because I just fucked that up. Alright, I've been at it for roughly half an hour. Very little progress, but again, I've done this to myself, no one to blame. So what I am going to do is we are going to buff up to level 40. And we are also, oh fuck. Roja, Greedy Beast. We're going to up type 4 Spicebush to make things a little bit better. Not too much. I mean, right now our only issue has been the fact that we just have not been able to, I mean, it doesn't change at all right now. We're just getting a bit of extra stuff from it, but oh well. I still think that it's kind of fitting to have this. Being at level 40 will just, it'll give me a little bit of a boost in terms of, defensive power. Maybe. Like, I might be able to roll, like, one higher, which doesn't really change anything. Because what is... It's 34 versus 30... Yeah, so, like... Changes nothing, really, but... I think, right? No, it's just 38, so... Yeah, we're... Oh, what... no, 30... So, like... We get one extra roll on Scattering Fragrance, where we're +1 on. It's not much. This is different, I think. Why do I feel like this is different? I don't think it is, actually. I'm just lying. Anyways, back to where we were. As in where me were. Okay, I don't think I'm actually going to be able to solo it, but I do have a compromise, potentially. And that is retreating with Hierarch. If I can do it, because I do want to have Yisong do like all the damage, but I think it's just, there's too much luck involved with the start of this fight. Because you have to avoid everything the first turn, and then most of everything in the second. in order to... Ah, shit, I forgot about that part. That will do. That'll be fine, we'll just kind of deal with it that way. Yeah, I believe that when we retreat, we should be fine to... Yeah, it's whatever. Fully bloomed, lose 20 SP, and then they get Dazzle Mind, which I believe is like a mind control, if I recall. We go like... Now we're gonna reach... Alright. Again, we'll see how it works. But we should be able to, hopefully, kinda solo, air quotes solo. Because I think retreating will end up giving me her slots on Yisung, but I also don't know for certain. So if this doesn't work, I'll give up the solo dreams. Alas, fortunate as it is. But thank you, Yisung. Took you longer than I would have liked. And Ishmael, buddy, Ishmael, buddy. All right. Again, I really want a Solus, but because I want to have the Spicebush v Spicebush battle, but this is the... it's theoretically possible as a solo, but I think it's just too luck-based to be... Like, it's possible, but unreasonable. And we once again roll just our S2s, because of course, or S1s rather. Alright, that one went perfectly fine. Can we win this one, please? No. God damn it! What the fuck is hitting me with... Why do I get the... Why does Yisung end up with that much... whatever. I'll give a couple more attempts as like an actual solo, but... I'll do like 3 more attempts at soloing before I'll just give up the dream. No, I have one other thing I'll do. I have one other option in mind. I thought you said you wouldn't solo. Difference is I am using my main account's Spicebush, which is level 50, which the big thing with that is that it, because of the level bonus, it now rolls minimum 7. So so I don't have to hit heads every time. Obviously heads helps, but this will just make things a lot easier for me. A lot more reasonable that that heads hits aren't required. Oh shit, I have to remember to actually switch to the support every time, but I'll do my best, or I'll remember to do an actual version of this fight. I will just like do a sped up version of it at the end of the episode. Sped through no commentary with my actual team, Spicebush, Wild Hunt, the like. But just right now, I'm so used to how it used to work with that, but, yeah. If I leveled it up to 55, I could roll an 8 minimum, for sure. It might even be able to do 9, but... I have Ring Song, so... yeah. Anyways, there we go. See, that's one of the things that really helps already with it. That is not fine because that inflicts on use. Ugh. Yeah, so we have to avoid the first 2 skills entirely. The second one I can get hit by just fine. But yeah, I will just cut ahead to when I actually manage to get to a good enough second turn. Okay, there we go. Finally made it to a proper turn that we'll actually be able to do something with. So obviously, yeah, we are technically kind of cheating by using an overleveled ID, but I definitely am not going to have this as like a common thing. I think this is more okay because I do have Spicebush, but like I have the actual ID. But yeah. I love the Spicebush theme. It's probably up there for my favorite normal battle themes in the entire game. It's just so good. Yeah, I'm more okay with... I'm always going to be worried when I don't hit heads. But I'm okay with doing this as a... like, doing this kind of what for a solo, as opposed to, like, One Who Grips solo, the Sinclair solo. But... just again, because I have the actual ID. So... I forget what their third move is. It's really annoying. But I don't think they have, on use, I want to say. I'll double check. I don't think they... let me double check. Okay, it is all on hit stuff. Really the ones I'm worried about are the... ooh, that's actually a real big problem. That's fucking bullshit. Oh, that's some bullshit. I just realized that. Alright, whatever. I don't know, maybe we can survive? I doubt it, but I don't know, fuck it, maybe. I think we would have had to stagger her, but not possible. She doesn't have her stagger bars yet. He does have a stagger bar eventually, but... I didn't realize that she could use that move twice in a turn. Yeah, I didn't realize that she could use that twice in one turn. That's annoying. I just wasted all that time because I didn't realize that... Ugh, God, I wasted like fucking 30 energy. That's really unfortunate. Solos are very fun, but there are a few that are just straight up impossible. A few solos throughout the game. I guess Spicebush is one that I didn't know about. What are the... There's a couple other ones. There's actually one later this Kanto that is impossible to solo with an asterisk. IDs with evades can solo that one. It's the same similar situation to what Dongbak has with Forced Stagger on like a Forced Stagger status. And then there's another one which was, I want to say, a Railroad 2 or Railway 2 that is impossible to solo in Mirror Dungeon because it does not give you slots after each turn. Because it was part of Railway. I think that was before. That might have been like either Railway didn't allow you to have extra slots, or it was just something unique with that Railway in particular. I don't know exactly, but that, as well as again another fight we'll get later on this Kanto, are, as far as I know, the only truly impossible solos to do. And again, I did not realize Spicebush was one of them. Which is really a shame. Because again, I wanted to do the one-on-one, but... ah well. Such is life. I would have found it much more interesting as 7-on-1 at least. But... again, Forced Staggers are pretty lame. But sometimes it's just what happens. Ah well. Anyways, where is... do we have... I want to see if I can find observation log for her. Just give me a moment. Okay. I completely forgot about sun showers as well, so I will read that one out first. Paragraph below is a detailed description found in a document left in the Elcor branch facility located in Nest Cave. An umbrella that may have been used to stop the rain once. Now it's too old and worn to run that role well. This umbrella must have been in compassion for abandoned somebody, but it might have come across as hollow. Hypocrisy, vanity, irresponsibility. Those are the emotions the umbrella has harbored now. Technology Liberation Alliance. It's meant to be a group of former researchers from various firms. They may yet be members in the city who we haven't met. Dongbak seems to have been the leader of the subgroup. As they forsook the world will have forsaken them. She's always been good at attracting like-minded individuals and encouraging them.
So it must have been a breeze for her to gather the abandoned. How did they accept her offer, then? You might see the answer to that question. Her hand would have been comparable to an umbrella in a heavy rain with no shelter to be found, a warm gesture of compassion, an invitation to comfort and warmth. Alas, the umbrella must be a old one, like the one we're seeing now. Dongbak may have held an umbrella over them. It only means to further her own interests. She knows it well herself. Look, see how she's helplessly caught in the falling rain. She has no intention of avoiding it. She is simply showering herself and all others in the rain, like a rusted umbrella. It seems she has chosen to be stained in rust, along with everything else. Then for Spicebush, Dongbak was rather fond of fireworks. It's an activity of entertainment where gunpowder is launched at the sky and blown up. Some of us called it an aggressive hobby and teased it. Some others joked that she might showcase the bomb at a future conference. Of course, it was all just an innocent jest. However, Dongbak must have yearned to see something beyond that, as we all did. She was to see stars form a stream in the sky and flowers bloom across the land. And that was all there was to it. Now, the old League of Non-Literaturists has fallen apart. As I peeked into the course of her life, I saw a world fall apart in a tragedy caused by technology. She must have been furious. She must have been consumed with a longing agony, sorrow, and despair, as I was. All of Dongbak's emotions have now pushed through the flesh, blooming into a mass of petals. Stop me at last, Dongbak. Only after creating an ideal ruination when no technology remains. Finally, after the rest, the gorgeous scenery of our hometown with your own body. And I see. Now I see. The reason you bloomed, sowing seeds of nostalgia, was to set your heart upon a new beginning. Dongbak, the fireworks you used to love are now being recreated into the soil, as you managed to get the buds to bloom. Indeed, it is no wonder you would be fond of them. I love the story-based, the story-based observation logs that are like part of, you know, someone's like actual story, and then because it really it gives an insight into the character that I feel like you don't normally get, and is pretty out of the way, all things considered. Especially because they really like obfuscating things from you from the get-go. But, well. Like, again, Dongbak is such an interesting character that, I mean, she's just such an interesting character because, like, as we kind of see, you know, especially with Dongrang's kind of, you know, just leading her on, you know, egging her on, rather. And she does get staggered with, oh, is that just from the no sanity? I think it's just her no sanity. Yeah. Her going completely fucking insane. How much poise do we have? None. Is it, but we don't have the actual skill for it. Damn. Yeah, we have no AoE right now, which is a shame. AoE would have been really, yeah, no, okay. AoE would have been really nice right now. Actually, I want to do that. Go to you. Pop you. Spicebush. Attack. And I trust Polu. I really wanted to do this as a solo. Oh, damn, we didn't actually kill it. See, now we have a little bit of AoE on our skill 2. Kind of our first chance to like actually see a little bit of these in action. Oh right, here's a phase transition. What is? I forget. Yeah, see to the next phase, which she's not at yet. Must be someone did get her under half health. No, I think we're just at it right now, so we kind of have to just waste a turn, which sucks. But oh well. Yeah, let's gain some tremor count. And I guess we'll just... let's refuel you.
684. I mean, we're doing a little bit of damage, but not really. You must cover with dirt, which will inflict dueling. Gives everyone else a bit down. Let's actually retreat all of our units right now. It prioritizes Isang, I think. But yeah. Take like no damage. But that is also kind of part of the plan. But I do actually want to start dueling. I might not be able to get my solo, but this will have to do. Oh, they didn't actually manage to retreat. But she gets... No. Yeah. Basically, we just have to win 2 clashes. I think it's 2 out of 3. No, never mind. We just have to win these 2. Oh. We'll pop the Moment's Floral Breeze? So she has that she's using. Fucking hell, that is strong. Huh. Well then. Unclashable, I think. I mean, it doesn't mention that it's unclashable, but it is. That's some bullshit. Got really unfortunate there. Alright, well. Yeah, it just doesn't. That's kind of weird. That just doesn't mention that it's unclashable. We do still survive this, I think. Shockingly. We corrode, but whatever. 2 corrosions, 2 panics, and a dead Yisong. I don't know, let's fucking just see how this goes. It's not how I was expecting any of this to go, but alright. You're free, Greg. I think also about the correct. Actually, no, I have a lantern. I think. This Nightmare is actually very good. And what? Really? This is some bullshit. That's some absolute bullshit. That's fucking stupid. Really? That's... It really should mention that it's unclashable. Like, come on. Whatever, whatever. I'll fucking just speed ahead to that phase. Alright, back to the duel. Of course I want to have Spicebush be Spicebush. What do we have as our next skill? Our Sloth. Okay. But we have the, what am I trying to say? Yeah. I hopefully will have remembered to edit in this, you know, this second phase of this iteration of the fight. But yeah, so weirdly enough, I did not remember having difficulty with this fight my first playthrough, which is kind of weird. This is generally considered like the first big, very difficult fight, but I didn't remember being that difficult, and then, you know, obviously trying it through again, oh boy, I was not doing great. Had some times where, like, you know, I did have an attempt that was a little bit screwed over by me win rating, which is, like, the #1 no-no for this fight, but I had one where I was fully trying, and then I just got fucked over. But yeah, once you win the duel, you're basically... Why don't we look at it this way? You know that a new League of Nine has been formed in N-Corp. And they seem to be recruiting the old members and their technology, similar to what you tried to do. Doubtless they're trying to erase that past, rather. This is purely conjecture, but we're all doomed to die at the hands of our dear fellow Goobo and the taxidermied, and be taxidermied one after another. All I did was bring a predetermined death a bit earlier. Besides, we've gone too far out of our past friendship to forgive Dongbek. I was looking forward to the staff dinner tomorrow, it really was. Come on then, it's time you cease the bloom, Dongbek. With the golden bow in hand, Dongrang stabs Dongbek, without hesitation. But why? I could state many reasons, but... Right, let's say this is my parting act of compassion. I knew I'd have to wilt when the time came, but I always wished to be a bud, soon to bloom bearing the scent within. Like you, Yi-sung, how you dreamed of flying. Like that, I just wanted to be buried by the piquant scent flowers. New feed has been added. Soon the screen is filled with yellow petals. Thank you, Yi-sung, for showing me such a moment. I would dedicate my entire life to repay you for this favor. Yi-sung, what do you say about setting up a lab with me? Hey, Yi-sung, what do you say about setting up a lab with me? I get the feeling every day spent with you will be a fun one. Amazing, Yi-sung. Unlike me, you attempted to reflect the true image in all its uprightness. Images don't overlap. They're blurry or shaky. Yi-sung, you're too lax. Why on earth would you leave it as a plaything when it could be so much more? Be still. Just be still. You're nothing more than breathe. For now, that's how you must live. You cannot die. The League has fallen apart. We have to leave this place! Yi-sung, you'll come with me. You can close your eyes if you so wish. You're too faint-hearted. I'll see you ahead in your stead. What do you think? Nothing. The scent of the grave was in full bloom. So, obviously, you know, this game has some phenomenal writing up to this point. Very fitting. Wow, you did not take much damage at all. But I legitimately think that, like, there's a couple times throughout the game where there'll be just like a real short stretch of missions that are, like, the game's already 10 out of 10, certain sections that jump up to 11 out of 10, and I think Screening Room and Bud are really the first instance of the writing getting to an amazing point. Like, it's already very, very good, but 447 to 448 are really the first steps of, like, oh, this is fucking incredible. But then we go to nothing, and we drop back down in how many people we have, and we'll drop in the non-retreating units. So, an ally is still a nothing. The intense glow fades, the space begins to twist and morph. Golden Bow has the power to do this. I would think we've entered the Phasm, but is it capable of warping the real world? Excitement of questions over matters related to Golden Bows have little meaning. To you and to Faust, all of us will be the very first witnesses to what is happening before our eyes. It would be statistically sound to assume that we will continue to witness previously unseen events in the future. So as you're right, I mean, look at that. Able to particularly articulate her words any further, Ishmael points her finger instead. Even the dead are coming back. Bodies that have been devoid of life for a while begin to rise. Their organs or body parts were severely damaged. It can only be described as resurrection. Seen some stuff, but bringing people back from the dead sounds too implausible. Even K-Corp's HP ampules couldn't do this much, right? It's unlikely there was absolutely no technology or singularity capable of complete revival at some point. However, such technology did exist. I, for one, haven't heard of it during the war. I mean, it's not a kind of technology allowed to prosper in the city. In fact, guess the head might. Indeed, it may very well be an active taboo established by the head. It's completely different from Limbus Company's case, where we can experience a revival by synchronizing with Dante. It's different. It's wrong. There's not a complete restoration like our case. They're merely animated. That is all. They appear to lack consciousness or reason. Seems that way? In other words, I guess it would only count as taboo if both the mind and body are recovered. Yeah, I believe this is the last one, but yeah, this, like, the two fights with Dongbaek are, so, season 1 of the game, first, I think they only released season 2 like 4 months after season 1, but season 1 of the game went up through Kanto 3. You finish with meeting Demian, and then cut off at release. But I really think that Kanto 4 is, like, this is really when the game, I think, kicks into a point of, like, okay, this is not just a good story, but a great story. Like, it's just what you have with, again, mainly those two fights, I think, are kind of the launching pad to, this is something, like, this is the type of quality we're expecting from people behind Library and Lobotomy. Like, again, just those two fights, they're very, like, you don't really have to deal with the mechanics on Sunshower too much, but, Spicebush is, like, really good. Yeah, like, Spicebush, very mechanically dense, and, like, you have to really play into the mechanics, in order to really have any sort of success on the matter. And again, like, I still think that, like, I feel like in terms of my ranking of Kantos, you have 1 and 2 are both on the same level. You know, they're still solid, like, 7 to 8 out of 10s. Then you have, like, you have Kanto 3 is 7.5. Like, it is noticeably higher quality
than the first two. But at the same time, you then get to Kanto 4, which is another massive leap in quality. And I would say if it wasn't for a lot of the gameplay issues that Kanto 4 suffers from, in terms of pacing, that is the number one criticism, I think, with the entire game is Kanto 4's pacing. I feel like aside from that, like, it's such a big gap then from between... Oh, there's another one. Oh, sorry, afterwards. It's such a big gap between the quality of Kanto... Like, Kanto 4's story, I think, starts to get up to the Kanto 5 and beyond, but obviously the gameplay is an issue. When I took a closer look at the revived foes after battle, I could see a liquid familiar hue flowing from their eyes. Dante, do you feel the golden bow's presence nearby? Last time I saw, the golden bow was lodged in Dongbag's body. Can't find her corpse anywhere. Must have moved away when the space twisted. But it can't be too far away. I'm sure of it. I can feel it. I don't see Dongbag either. He's likely to be saved at the same location as the deceased Dongbag. Until now, we've experienced fathoms with the ego at the same time. I guess it's thanks to Dante's particular affinity, if that makes sense? Oh, you're talking about affinity. You mean the chains binding us? Yeah. This is one of their influences, right? And what will happen if someone like Dongbag gets to fathoms? Fret not, for we shall find out from now on! Let us vanquish the foes ahead for now! So, it's not too common that we get pensive dialogue from Don, but I really gotta figure out how I'm going to manage a more reserved Don Quixote voice. Otis, I think, is kind of similar situation to me. I've been doing a lot of, like, you know, military command sort of yelling for my Otis voice. But that one, I feel like I at least kind of got a particular tone that I can do without having to have I have a certain tone that I'm kind of getting the vibe of without having to use the volume as well. Don is just like, that sort of heroic voice comes so naturally to Don Quixote, but at the same time, like, she has her pensive moments ever so often. It is very uncommon. Mostly reserved to Kanto 7. Obviously, there's a few moments here and there that are beyond, but it is a lot tied into her Kanto in terms of any sort of subtlety from Don Quixote. But like everyone else, I mean, I'm a little bit inconsistent with my Heathcliff voice, I know. Just because, like, I'm not sure how British I want to or can be while still trying to keep his lower voice in. Merceau, I feel like, can sometimes blend in with my Heathcliff voice. Ryoshu, my Roja and Honolulu are very similar. That's one I'll say right away. But yeah, it's just there's a lot I gotta work on in terms of my. I'm not a trained voice actor, obviously. I'm not trained. I think it would be cool to voice act eventually. Like, that'd be something that it would be neat to do. But I have no training with it as of right now. Yeah, I've never done any sort of vocal training, period. It's kind of fly off the cuff with that. But I mean, I would find it sick to be even just like a minor character in an English dub. I don't think they're going to end up doing an English dub. I believe it's kind of surprising that Library even has a Japanese dub. Which I want to say the Japanese dub is Switch only too. But yeah. Voice acting would be cool, but I'm far from experienced with it. And far from knowledgeable on how to actually, like, do it well. Like, I feel like I've gotten pretty good with my Yi-Song voice. I think Yi-Song's like my most solid actual voice. My Sinclair, I think I need to voice crack more often for Sinclair. But I feel like my Sinclair is also pretty solid, but my Yi-Song is my main good one of our cast. Well, what about Don's just my normal voice. And Jesus Christ, my voice is cracking all over the place. I feel like my Vergilius is not terrible, but since he is a fraud, he's not. Since he doesn't want to help us out, we don't get to see Verg that much. Oh well. Point is, I do get that, like, there's definitely gonna be a lot of people. I know Foreman plays stuff. He lets obviously lets the voice actors do the voice acting. Aside from the intervalos and minis that aren't voiced, he did a little bit for there, but I do get that. But I don't know. I feel like there is some more enjoyment you can get out of at least having someone with them. I'm by no means even audiobook quality in terms of my playthrough of this, but still. I don't know. I'm waffling because we're gonna finish this fight and then end things off dungeon next time. I have no idea how long this episode is going to be. This is in a separate recording session. Not too long after. I took like a 2-hour break. After a lot of failures at Spicebush. Regardless, that'll do it for this time, and next time we head into the Reminisced League. But until then, see you guys later!